How's everyone doing tonight? Do you like the thumbnail? It's like the guy who's like fat and sleeping on one side and then with chains, and then there's the logo, Just Rest Your Eyes, and then on the other side he's like waking up when he's all ripped and shredded and he's busting the chains. That's I mean, maybe it's just the thumbnail of this podcast, but it's also like a reminder to me of what I have to do on this podcast, which is that you have to get stronger as a result of listening. I mean, that's like a reminder to myself not to slack off. I mean, maybe you'd call it like self-help. And I don't know if I've done a great job so far with it, but I'm just, I figure if I have that logo and if I keep that in mind, eventually we'll get something out of it. So anyway, we've got this Wheel of Fortune. It's basically a wheel with all these objects written on it. So how many do we have? There's 12 entries on the wheel, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we've already done 4 days. Today's the 5th day. So there's 8 items left. When one gets picked, we backfill that slot with another one. So at this point, there's like 4 doubles on the wheel. So we're going to spin the wheel in a minute. Feel free to vote in the chat. But before we do that, we're going to continue this list that we've been going through, which is it's Brooklyn Italian Heroes. Haven't been there yet. I want to. But so far, I've just been going through the menu and reading what they have. The menu, they're basically submarine sandwiches, but they're named after, I guess they're mostly Italian-American celebrities is what they're named after. And I've just been reading through it and dreaming that I had some of these sandwiches. I will eventually. Maybe at some point I'll start reviewing these sandwiches in the show, but for now, I'm just reading the list. So the next one is the Marco Polo, which is grilled chicken and broccoli rabe, fresh mozz, olive oil, salt, and pepper. Didn't we do one that was just chicken cutlet and broccoli rabe? I remember doing that one. I don't remember who got that sandwich, but I remember thinking I'd have it on a platter, not a sandwich. Anyway, this is a good list. We got Marco Polo, Amerigo Vespucci, Christopher Colombo. They're all going to be tonight. And I don't know who William Paca and Giovanni Cabato are. So they're probably also something to do. Okay, Paca says sign first declaration. And Cabato says explore the world. So we got a good list tonight. Marco Polo, Amerigo Vespucci, William Paca, Christopher Colombo, Giovanni Cabato. So we got some like centuries old Italian heroes here. Amerigo Vespucci obviously did the map. Marco Polo went to China and brought noodles to Italy, renamed them pasta. I don't know exactly how it went, but anyway. So Marco Polo's chicken cutlet and broccoli rabe, fresh mozz, olive oil, salt, and pepper. William Paca, I guess he signed the Declaration of Independence. It says signed first declaration, 8 later. Turkey, roast beef, jalapeno cheese, and hot sauce. I like that. Roast beef, Benjamin Franklin used to talk about having those, roasted roast beef at the club with beer and potatoes, and whoever wanted to talk politics, what do they call those, juntas or something like that? And he was a signer, wasn't he? I think so, of the Declaration of Independence. And of course they had turkey at the first Thanksgiving, which was probably 100 years earlier, but I mean, it's on theme, I think. Turkey, roast beef, jalapeno cheese. Is that a reference to the mixed cultures here? I mean, nowadays you'd think of it as like Mexico, but back then it was probably just Spanish people and Native American people, and I don't know. There's also hot sauce on that sandwich for some reason. Frankly, this sandwich might be all over the place. But that's kind of the Declaration of Independence. Not that the Declaration of Independence was all over the place, but I think the founding of America was a little bit all over the place. It was kind of like, hey, come here and, we're just going to start a country. Who wants in? It's like you see these people nowadays, they found tech companies. So what does that mean? They rent some Amazon Web Services and they do a little Java programming and they call themselves a founder. Well, these guys took land. Have you heard about the Boston Tea Party? Look into that. That's interesting. Look into the American Revolution. This was not for the faint of heart. This was a little more difficult than dicking around with Java on an Amazon web server. So anyway, the Declaration of Independence, the founding of America, it's quite a story. Look into it. Christopher Colombo, obviously the explorer, proved the earth was flat, that he could get to America. They used to think it was like round, like a grapefruit or something like that, and you could like travel to India. Anyway, Christopher Colombo, roast beef, soppressata, fresh mozzarella, Italian sausage, mushroom stuffing. Giovanni Cabato, chicken cutlet, provolone, balsamic vinegar, roasted peppers, salt and pepper. Giovanni Cabato, explore the world with this hero. Okay, I have to look into that. Giovanni Cabato. I'll look into him. All right, so that was some fun with the menu. And now it's time to have some fun with the Wheel of Fortune. But you know what? This thing is not straight, right? Why is that not straight? Let me see if I can fix that. Oh, that's the wrong way. That's too high. All right. Does that look straight? All right, that looks still not straight, but I'm going to go with that. All right, now let's get the wheel here. So what are we going to do tonight? Let's find out. Beho. Uh-oh. I'm going to have to plug in the YOLO box. I don't think I have enough battery for the Beho. This is probably the longest one. I think this of what we've got here, I think the backhoe is the longest one. We may not do this in one day. I may do half of it, and then maybe the rest we kind of put it off until after we finish this list, and then we'll continue with the excavator, or maybe we'll get it done tonight. I don't think so. Another one I think is going to be long is the game console, but we could stop after an hour. It's like, it's long if you choose to make it long. But like, these four are all going to be quick. The motor, the fun deck, the Tetris, the shark teeth. So by the way, chat, if you want, we got to backfill the backhoe. So if you got any ideas of what you want to get on that board twice, let me know. So these ones are going to be short. No, the shark teeth, Tetris going to be short. These, the motor and the fun deck going to be short. But the ballista, the jigsaw puzzle, and the AR, they're not going to be short. The AR is the, I don't know. It's called AR Game Console. I don't know who gave it that name. It seems a little odd, but whatever. So tonight we're going to do the excavator, but we also have to pick one of those items and backfill the backhoe. So I'm going to erase the backhoe from this Wheel of Fortune, and we're going to add something in its place. Something's going to be doubled up. Something that's not already doubled up. Nobody voted in chat, so I'm going to put the shark teeth down. I'll just write the word shark or shark tea. Shark tea. All right, so shark teeth is there twice. Don't ask me why shark teeth is there twice. I just decided we're going to do shark teeth twice. We got to do something twice. What is kind of cool is that the ROKR Excavator, how many pieces is it? Do we know? It's got a code on it. Basically, this is what I normally do on this show. is these type of puzzles. So we get to turn on the scoreboard and you know, like we normally would do on a show. So Robotime, designed by Robotime, 395 pieces, level 3. I don't know if you can see everything I'm reading here. So it's designed by Robotime. I don't know, sometimes they're called ROKR, sometimes they're called Robotime. It's a plywood puzzle. There's the model number. I'll put that in the description. It has, where did I see? Yeah, 395 pieces. 3 out of 5 difficulty. Assemble size. Is this thing going to be 210 millimeters? Okay, I was thinking centimeters. Yeah, I don't really know what millimeters are. So I think it's going to be pretty small. If it would be 210 centimeters, it'd be huge. But this box is the size of a DVD case, so it's not going to be that huge. All right, so I'm going to set up the scoreboard right now. I don't know if that's going to be a little like boring for you to watch, but that's what I'm going to do because I like having the scoreboard on the screen. So I'll just tell you how it works. The scoreboard. All right, did it show up on the screen yet? It's probably like blank though, right? Yeah, so it's there, but it's very like generic right now. So I'm going to call it day 1 in case this puzzle ends up going into 2 days. So day 1. All right, so that's good. And then we need the name of the puzzle. Well, yeah, the name of the puzzle. So we're going to call it ROKR Excavator. ROKR is the brand, Excavator is the puzzle. In the description, I'll put like, you know, more detail, but this is just the scoreboard, you know. Like when you watch a game on TV, you know, the scoreboard is usually pretty like, what's the word? Abbreviated. They have like acronyms and abbreviations. Like they don't put, like for the New York Giants, they put NYG. And that's New York Giants. All right, is this scoreboard updating? It seems like not. Oh, no, it is. Okay. So what do we do next here? All right, that's good. Team 1 is going to be current piece. No, it's just going to be piece. And then team 2 is going to be total. So for total, we already know. I forgot, though, myself, what it says. All right. 395 pieces. So that's the total number of pieces, 395. So we can put that number in right now. First, I got to get the colors right. Then I got to go back to the screen where you do that. And 395, right? All right. Do we have a working scoreboard? Yeah, we do. All right. So we're ready to start building. You know what else we need, though? We need the instructions. I don't know if ROKR instructions are online or if I'm going to have to photograph it. If I have to photograph it, my iPad is still in a situation where the cord is very short. I ordered a longer cord today, but it didn't show up yet, so I don't know. Let's see if we can find the instructions online. That would be very helpful. All right, so Robotime Excavator. Robotime. How do you spell excavator? Excavator. Instructions. I kind of want to put PDF instructions, but let me just start with instructions. I know UGears has PDFs. See, if you don't put in PDF, then they give you these videos as the first hits, and we don't want the video. Robotime store, product. All right, let's go there and see if they got the instructions. Do they? Description. Step 1. Well, yeah, they got something, but I'm looking for the PDF instructions. And I'm not seeing a link to it. Maybe you see it. Maybe I'm scrolling right past it, but I don't see it. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to add the word PDF. All right. The extension PDF. All right, same links. They didn't give us anything. English instructions, but this is not the same product. All right, so I guess this is another instruction I'm going to be adding to the website. I'll scan it. I'll add it to the website. For tonight, I'm just going to open it up here. It's just going to be. We're just going to look at the paper. I mean, I'll take a picture, but on the weekend, I'll scan it. And then we'll have really good instructions so that when we do finally get to finishing this build, we'll have instructions that we can bring up on the computer and everybody can easily read. So, like, I don't want to, like, give all this free publicity to U-Gears. I mean, I'm willing to give them the same amount I give everyone else. But I'm telling you, they get in more because they're just making it easier. Because every one of their puzzles, they have PDF instructions online. And that's very convenient. Now, I understand with Legos, there could be kind of an intellectual property issue with putting the instructions online. Because you could use like generic pieces and build the same thing if you've got the instructions. You know, maybe there's a couple of unique pieces in a build, but usually most of the pieces are generic. But in these wooden puzzles, I mean, you're not going to program a laser cutter, you know, with these pieces. You're not losing anything by putting these instructions out. Maybe some other company is going to do a laser cut production run, but in which case you'll see that and you could like sue them or whatever. All right, so this has sandpaper. I don't see wax. I have wax, which I've saved from the last build that I did. So there's the wax. So now we're ready. We got some wax right there in case we need it. The instructions I see are on paper, so I'll photograph them as we go along. 395. Unlikely we do that in one night. That's a 2 to 3 night puzzle in my opinion. But let's see. I have done a couple other ROKR puzzles from these DVD size boxes in a single night. But this doesn't look like it's going to be that easy. I did like the guitar in one night. There was something else I did in one night. But this is doesn't look like one night. But let's see. We'll find out soon enough. What I have to remember is to rename this or duplicate and rename this project on the YOLO box tomorrow, because if I leave it as Wheel of Fortune, I'll accidentally delete it and then we won't have... Alright, so there's the sandpaper and the wax. Alright, there's some tiny boards. What is going on here? This is plastic. So this is like... what is this? The tire treads. It has like the excavator has like tank tires. So I guess that's what these are. They're kind of like the treads. All right. Is this just a piece of cardboard? I'm assuming this is trash, but I'm not throwing it out yet. All right. So this is some super thin boards here. I mean, these are crazy thin, these things. Yeah. It's like... very thin. So might be a little tricky to work with. And they're tiny also. The pieces are tiny. That's also going to make them tricky to work with. So we got tire treads, a quarter size board, a half size board. All right, some black boards, one whiteboard. Oh, it comes with its own wax. It was like in between boards. That's crazy. All right, so I'll put this leftover wax. Man, was that leftover wax ever like as clean as this current wax? This is not that clean now. Oh, by the way, the colors are washed. Let's see if we can get those colors back. All right, is that better? But now we have it. Now we have some blurriness. It's like you got to pick. Anyway, this is like orange, but when I put it down like this, it loses its orange a little bit. And when I turn on this light, it's like, oh wait, now the color's kind of back. Now it's completely gone. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. I think I'm going to do the one light, because if I turn them both off, then this thing starts to look terrible. All right, at least from this camera. All right, let's see. Maybe it's just that one camera. Hard to say. It might be just the close-up camera. All right, let's take a look at the instructions. We got our sandpaper. We got our wax. It's time to get to work. So I'm going to scan this and probably chop it up to make a PDF. But for now, I'm just going to photograph these first two rows. There, you know what? I can't really get it photographed. It's like not looking good here. There's like harsh shadows on it. Give me a second on this photography. Once I figure it out, then it'll be easy going forward, but I gotta figure it out first. Nope. Alright, I got a better idea. I'm going to photograph it, and it's going to take a little longer this way, but it'll be worth it. Alright. Get the whole sheet there. So you're not able to have the flashlight and at the same time as the what's it called? Basically, you're not able to use the flashlight and the camera at the same time. Why not? Gonna be stupid shadows on this thing. Alright. Well, we're going to have to do that every couple pages until we get it scanned. Alright, now I got to transfer this thing to the computer, to the iPad. Let's see, I'm using Google Drive. I don't know what's the best way. I guess Apple has something, but for whatever reason, I never used it. I just keep using. I just have Google on my iPhone and my iPad, and that's what I use. Yeah, this picture is terrible. It has like a shadow right in the middle of it. So there's going to be a shadow. Maybe it'll be better the second night. All right, JRYE instructions. Well, I didn't put it in the instructions folder. Anyway, there's the instructions. So the first box is three pieces. D15, D16, and D28. D15, 16, and 28. So D15, D16, D28. So the first thing we need is a board that, like, how do we know which is the D board? Like, does this board, oh, this is the A board. Okay. It's going to be tough to read. That's C. I'll put them in, I'll keep them in order. A, C. Which board is this? I think it's B, but we need some close-up super eyesight. Yeah, that's B. All right, so A, B, C. What do we got here? What? We got two C's? This is C. This is B. So then what was this? Oh, is this like a mixed board of different... Or are these all C's? I don't know. It looks like we have two C boards. I'm not sure why there would be two C boards. There's E. So this has to be D. Which is, by the way, the board we're looking for. Yeah, this is D. And by the way, I just knocked a piece out of D by accident. It just popped right out. All right. So we're looking for 15, 16, and 28. 28 is just a locking pin. So 15, 16, and 28. There's 23, 22. There's 15. That's one of the ones we're looking for, right? So here we go. Our first piece of the night. 15. And one of these should be 28. One of these two. No. 16. We're not looking for it. It was 16, yes. I don't know why I said 28. On the picture, it's clearly 16. 28 is the little locking pin, which there's the locking pin. That's 26, but we're looking for 28. Oh, there's 28. It's tiny. That is some tiny little nothing piece, that 28. I don't even know how to get that out. They didn't give us a tool. I've got one. But, again, this piece is so tiny. 27 is even tinier. But 28 is a tiny piece. Okay, we got it out. We got it out. There we go. We got 28 out. All right, now how do we put this together? They want us to hold 16 like this. And this very top is where they want this pin. Which is like, again, can you even see what you're doing here? I definitely got to play with the color on this close-up camera. It's like too bright. All right. Is it all the way in? Seems like it. All right. So next, okay. These two, like on the side here, these two pieces on the side, they're supposed to line up with these two pieces. So they don't. Okay. They don't line up. I must be using the wrong side. Which means I also put this pin in the wrong side. Wow. Messed up on the first piece of the night. That is such a common thing for me to do. All right, so I put this pin in the wrong side. We're supposed to have it this side, then put the pin in. Okay. Well, now, do they line up now? All right. Now they do line up. So, wow. Got the first piece of the night wrong. You know, if you go back and watch my episodes, you'll see that happens like 25% of the time. I don't know. It's really common to get the first piece of the night wrong. All right. Let's see what's next here on the instructions. All right. D17. But it's got to be connected. D17 is a big piece, but it's going to be connected with, so D17, is it this piece? Yeah, this is D17, but it's going to be connected with C9, which kind of looks like a wrench, and then two C12s, which are pins. So let's grab this piece. Well, let's update the counter first. So 4 pieces. That's 4 pieces for that. So that brings us up to 7. All right, so D17, we got that. And then we need C. As I recall, there's 2 C sheets, so this can be confusing. It's also, the C is in black, so I can't even really read it. Hopefully I can read it on this close-up camera. I really still can't. This kind of looks like it. What's the piece? C9. None of those pieces say C9. Wow. Is it over here? C6. Is that it? That looks like it. All right, so there's the C9. I'm pretty sure that's a C9. Really tough to read, but then it's pointing to this piece. So this piece on the very edge here, that's the piece we need. That's C9. I'm telling you, it adds difficulty when the pieces are very tiny like this. Makes them difficult to work with. All right, so there's C9, but we still need 2 C12s. And as I recall, 2 of these sheets are named C, which is going to make it tricky. I don't know. Is this camera even working tonight? Well, that's blurrier. And that's blurrier. Yeah, so this is it. This is the best we got. It's like A or B, 1 or 2. It's like at the eye exam. This color is so messed up. My finger is not purple, as it appears to be on this camera. All right, do we see C12s? I see C1, C2, C58. These are all over the place. Does that look like a C12? It does, but it looks like it says C12, but the piece doesn't look like it's supposed to. So we're looking for a couple of pins, and I'm not seeing them on this board. So let's check the other C board for C12. All right. There's a lot of repetitive pieces on this board. All right, here's some pins here, but these are like 17 and 18. Some more pins here. There's the C12. Where is that? C12. There it is. There's the C12. It's actually a fairly big pin, so we need those 2 C12s. Well, we're spending a lot of time tonight just like finding pieces. That's That's true. That's a shame. All right. Did we count up these pieces yet? Yeah, we did. All right, now how do we connect them? All right, the C12s go here and here. They go in kind of like sideways. Are we starting right with the like crane arm? Is that what this piece is that we're building? Looks like it. By the way, this pin goes like, it comes out the other end. I don't know if that tells us anything. There's some bulk in the middle, but there's like 2 levels before you get to that. You can see that piece there. And when it goes in here. This one might go to a different depth than the other one. I don't know. No, it similarly went through. So they come out the other end. Okay. And then C9 has a round side. Where's my sandpaper? It has a round side which has a splinter on it. And it has kind of a square side. So the round side is the side that is going to go on this pin. And I think it's just going to go over this pin, kind of. If that makes sense. It's just going to go over this pin. Yeah, it goes over the thickest part. It moves when it's on there. And then we just got to line this piece up with these two. Remember how we connected that one? So this kind of just, all of it's going to line up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got to put 3 pins one way and 2 the other way. I mean, I'm sure we'll get it, but it might take a second. All right. So we got a lot of pins to line up here. Just starting at the bottom. Got to start somewhere. And then, all right, we got all 3 pins. Nope, we got 2 in. I need to get that 3rd one in. And then there's 5 because there's also the body. These tabs. I'm going to call them tabs if they're attached to the larger piece, and pins if they're separate. That's probably the correct terminology. All right. Not all of the tabs are in. All of the pins are in. I think neither of these 2 tabs are in yet on the new piece. They're both in on the existing piece. I'm not sure if something's not lined up or if I just need to push them in. I don't want to push them and break them. All right, yeah. Okay, now I can see the connector. There we go. One of them's in. All right, let's try the other one. They're both in. All right, so that's good now. All these pins are in, and everything is looking like it's supposed to look. And this, I'm not sure what that's going to be. Are you curious what we just built? Do you think we know? Like, can we identify this piece? Yeah, we can. It's this piece. So if you look at this, like, instructions here, look at this piece here. And look how it has that black piece up there. So there you go. So that's what we just built. So we're starting very close to the bucket. All right, so let's keep going. Let's keep doing this. All right. Next instruction is 1 piece, and that piece is a D23. Is this the D board? It is. The D board is very easy to read compared to those black C boards. All right, that's D23 right there. Why does everything look over? Oh my goodness. I know why everything looks overlit. The roof is missing from my... I knew it was too easy. And that's why we're having all these crazy shadows. All right, you're going to have to bear with me a minute. there's supposed to be a roof to my cubicle, and the roof is basically, it's like a shower curtain. It's a diffuser. When I put that diffuser on, all this stuff is going to look better. All right, give me a minute, and there's going to be less harsh shadows. I got to get the diffuser on. Give me a minute. I probably sound a little further away now, but I'm still here with you. Hopefully I don't knock anything else offline while I'm doing this. Alright. Also be a good test of how long it takes me to put it on. I've only been using the diffuser for like a week, so I'm not really an expert at putting it on. And as you can see, I even completely forgot tonight to put it on. I don't know how I managed to do that. Forget about something so important. But you know, I'm up to episode 259, and probably the first 250 episodes didn't use the diffuser, so kind of like my excuse, I guess. Alright, you can probably hear those like shower curtain sounds. Also, I think I'm not putting it on as straight as usual, just because I'm kind of like rushing right now. Alright. Let me stop rushing and try to do this right. You know, if I rush too much, I could break it. I mean, it's a freaking shower curtain. It easily could break if I go too fast. All right, you're gonna see the difference in the lighting in a minute, because I'm gonna pass over where I'm building, but it's still gonna take me another minute to lock everything in. All right. Actually, you're not gonna see the difference yet, because the diffuser's on the other side of the camera, so I don't think that's going to make a difference yet. In one more minute, then you're going to see it. If you even hear me, I'm now on the other side of the microphone, so that probably doesn't sound well. All right, the diffuser is now over the build zone. It's not locked in yet, but I'm holding it with my hand. I probably just heard a clamp open and close. Alright, it's definitely the worst I've ever put it together, but it is at least on. Alright. Okay. One more clamp, and then it's done. We're almost there. Last section. Done. Alright, it's on. So, this is probably going to be an important video, because it's you see through the video the difference with and without the diffuser. So, from this camera, things are already better. But I think when I go to the close-up, it's going to be dramatically better, because the close-up was like not working at all tonight. All right, so it's still, the close-up is still a little bit washed, but at least you can read it now. Let's try the black one. Yeah, you can, it's much easier to read now. It's the close-up camera is still not as good as the main camera and camera 2, but it's better. Camera 3, yeah, it's not really much difference in camera 3, but anyway. It's going to look better. Diffuser's on. Things are looking better. Now, the piece we were going to do was D23. And it's going to go back here. So how long was I playing with the diffuser? I'm not sure. All right. D23 is right here. I probably also should change the name of the show, because it still says Wheel of Fortune, but now we know we're doing the ROKR Excavator. So I probably should switch to that. All right, so this piece has these two dots here, which are not going to get connected. But the two dots are going to go up here near this bar. Just that's the orientation. Just make sure the dots are on top. I'm not sure what they're going to be used for, but if you put them on bottom, they're not going to be there when you need them. So they go on top. Well, I might pull off the top and do the bottom first because I'm feeling like... Okay, no, I got it. For a second there, I was thinking it's not going to go in. Wow, it's so much better on my eyes with this diffuser. And I think it looks sharper too. All right. What's next? Next is inspection. It just says A there. And it says... And, oh, this is the name. So this is, for now on, this is called A, this piece. The instructions have dubbed it A. All right, let's see what's next. Now we move on to instruction 2. And the first cell on 2 needs 2 pieces, C2 and C35. So we're in the double digits. 2 pieces. Oh, by the way, because we started with the Wheel of Fortune, I have a stack of boxes. So I can't get to that keyboard to rename this show. Unless I move that stack. Maybe I'll do it. But for now, let's just move on to the C's. So C2 and C35. Those are B's. C2 and C35. All right. C23, C33. I see it. I see it right here. C35. Where is it? Is this it? Yeah, that's it. That's C35. Trying to get it out without also getting out C36, and I failed. So this is C35 and this is C36. Hopefully we don't lose that. Was that a 36? Do I got that right? Yeah, that was C36. I've got it on cardboard. I feel like I should write the name C36 there, but anyway. All right, now C2 is kind of like a big piece. Is it one of these pieces in the corner here? I don't know. C5, C8. Is that it? Is that C2? Yeah, that's it. I think that's 2 C2s. So we're going to have the same situation. We're trying to punch one out without accidentally punching the other one out. Yeah, it's 2 C2s right next to each other. All right, we got one out. All right, so this is C2, and this is C35. These pieces are so tiny compared to the instructions. All right, so if you can even see it, I'll put it in front of this so you can see the ridges on it. All right, so this like U shape goes at the bottom. I don't know if bottom even means anything, but the point is that this thing, the C35, goes at the other end. But you got to turn it. So it starts like this, but you got to turn it like this. And then it hooks onto this piece after you turn it. Oops. I'm telling you, they're tiny pieces. They don't really fit the size of my fingers. But somehow we have to make them work. Nope. All right, now before I was like looking at the post and trying to thread the circle. Now I'm looking at the circle and trying to go the other direction. Sorry, off camera. Let's try this camera. All right. Okay, lined up. Is it? Tough to get it lined up, huh? Okay, I think I got it. That was trickier than you would think it would be. All right, so I did that incorrectly. this long piece is supposed to point up. So I got to pull this out and do it again. Will the pieces break when I pull them apart? Because that happens sometimes. That would be a bummer. Although we have like doubles of both of these pieces. All right, let's try this again. All right, so this time we got it pointing upwards. But, hold on. I got to make sure we're right here. Okay, pointing upwards, but also the tab pointing that way. So there's like 4 ways you could put this on. So you got to make sure you do the right one. All right. That's hopefully on correctly this time. Let's take another look at that. Compare it to the instructions. I mean, I think so, right? I think that matches the instructions. All right, so that is considered piece B. So this is now known as piece B. And remember how each of those pieces had a twin? There was a second C2 and there was the C35 piece. So actually they're both. It's a times 2. But one of them, the reason why one of them is B and one of them is C is like this piece, it's like always going to point this direction like this. But this piece, okay, so if both of these pieces, if both of the C35s are pointed up, the C2, one of them is going from this side, one of them is going from that side. So remember how we pulled that one apart because we were like, oh, it's wrong? Actually, it wasn't wrong. It was this one. It was wrong. If I'd have basically advanced the instructions a little bit, I would have seen that it wasn't so much wrong as I accidentally built C before B. So anyway, let's just pop out this piece. And so this one is B, and the next one is going to be C. And the only difference is we're putting it on from this side, which we had done a minute ago accidentally. Well, now we're doing it on purpose. Okay. Let's see there. Come on. I don't want to bend or break these pieces. Hard to see sometimes if you're even doing them correctly. I mean, can you see what I'm doing? Because I can't. By the way, we got to get credit for those 2 pieces. So that gets us to 12. All right, so the C2s go the same direction, but the 35s enter from 2 different sides. So that's A and that's B. All right, now they want us to take B. Don't ask me why they want B and not A, but they want us to take B and to add to it 4 C26s, 2 C18s, and 2 C19s, but they want the 2 C19s separated. Like, what's going on here? And all of this stuff is going to fit on this, like, little space here. This little, like, tiny bar here. From here to here. That's going to get 7 pieces. 8 pieces. 4 C26s, 2 C18s, and 2 C19s. All right, so let's grab those pieces. Okay. I guess they're going to be in these, like, boards here. I see C27. C28, C35 to C34, C29. What are we looking for? C 26, and then 18 and 19. So there's a lot of C24, C29, C27, C25. Why do I see C22, C21, C23, C20? I see everything but C26, which is what I'm looking for. All right. There are 2 C boards. So let's look at the other board. I do though see 18. I don't know if I see 19 yet, but I see 19. Yeah, I see C19 and C18 They're these circles here, but I'm trying to read like which way they go. Oh, and C26 is there too. Okay, C26 is also a circle. So we need 4 C26s. But like, how do you tell where do the C26s start? Like, C26 is here, and C27 is here. Oh, okay, C27 points down, C26 points up. So there's a lot of C26s, and we need 4 of them. All right, so let's get 4 C26s. 1, 2, 3, 4. Did I just break those pieces? Or do they look good? 3, 4. It's hard to tell with these little things. Wow. Let's get them on here so we can see at least see what they are. So that piece that came out, it's actually good because it gives us like, because I have a black screen here, and these black pieces are impossible to see, so this yellow thing kind of helps. Although this cardboard would help too. All right, so we still need 2 C18s and 2 C19s. All right, so I see the word C18. It's right here. And I see C19 is right here. Okay, C19 is pointing at these 4. So I'll grab 2 of those. I feel some splinters. I don't know if these pieces broke on the way out. All right, I'm going to put the C19s. Yeah, something broke there. I don't know if it was important or not. It might not have been. Yeah, I don't think that was important, but I'll kind of put it there. All right, so the C26s are in the middle. The C19s are on the outside. And we still need 2 C18s. I feel like a lot of the problem, if I had like a person to snap out which pieces we need, it would be, this would go twice the speed because the time spent snapping these pieces. It's like brutal. All right, so C18. So you can see C18 right there. But what is it? Is it these pieces? So are there like 8 C18s? Let's assume that's correct and grab 2 of them. Okay. 2 C18s. Wow, that was like brutal. All right, so the C18s go both here on this side. I'm kind of lining them up in the way they go on. So C19 goes on the bottom. What I'm having trouble figuring out is exactly how they go on. All right, first of all, we should be working with this one. This is B. All right, so if we hold it like this, then a C19 goes like how? Am I supposed to break through the piece? Because the C19, all right. the C19, let me use this as a background. You can't get to the middle. All you can do is put it on one side or another. So do they want it like half sticking out? Like, I don't understand how they want this on there. Let's look at the instructions again. Yeah, they want it half sticking out. So if we take it like this, they want this half sticking out. So this like this, and we're going to put on, there's 3 slots, one in the middle, one at each end, which is going to put from one end. It's going to go on there. At the lowest position other than those hooks at the bottom. I don't know what those hooks at the bottom are going to connect to, but not this piece. Something else. Wow. Once I get the first one on, it'll become kind of a guide for the rest. But this first one, I don't know. I don't know if it's not on, it's not sticking. I don't know if it's on, but it's not staying on. Wow. All right, let's go to the close-up cam again. All right, so it's supposed to go like this. It's not going in there. Okay, it's on. Wow, that's a lot of work. By the way, there's 8 pieces, so let's bring this up to 20, the counter. Okay, 20. So we put on the C19. I'm doing it upside down. It's like more comfortable that way. So we put on the C19, and now we got to do 4 C26s, which are these middle pieces. So let's do that. All right. You know, I was watching a guy, actually my son launched the video. He's playing a video game, and he didn't comment at all. The video game he just played the video game. It was Resident Evil, the most recent Resident Evil release. And he just was playing the game like silently. And there wasn't much talking in the game, so it was mostly just sort of silently walking around. But because I list this show as not only a YouTube show, but also as a podcast, I feel like I can't be silent. But at the same time, I mean, I'm just sliding 8 almost identical rings onto this post. It's not much to talk about. I could grab one of those random knowledge cards and start talking about that. I should do that. Let me grab one of those. All right. So I still have 3 more to go, but let's grab one of these cards. So I got these random knowledge cards. Let's see what the next one is. I've been going through them. All right, which has more chromosomes, a human or a potato? That's not much to chew on there. I'm just going to guess potato. They wouldn't ask if it was human, right? The potato. You cannot judge the complexity of an organism by the number of its chromosomes. Humans have only 46, horses 64, and there's a fern with over 1,000. When you have trouble packing for a trip, remember how efficient humans can be. So 46 chromosomes. So isn't it like people with Down syndrome have an extra chromosome? Isn't it something like that? Okay, is the Statue of Liberty the world's tallest statue? I don't know. I mean, it's definitely not the world's tallest statue. I know there's some Buddha statues that are taller. All right, so next we're going to put on the 2 C18s. What I don't know is if that statue, like what place it's in. Because there's not only the Buddha statue, there's like the Eiffel Tower, obviously. There's like Motherland Calls. Do you know that? It's like a woman with a sword on a mound somewhere in Russia, and it's called like Motherland Calls. That's, I think, bigger than the Statue of Liberty. And it's holding a sword, not a torch. The Motherland Calls. So there's a Buddha statue. Stone Temple, is that what it's called? Like the Stone Temple Buddha or something like that? Or is it the Spring Temple? I forget which one it is. By the way, are these fitting? It's really tough to see this tiny piece, but like I feel like I could be putting more of them on. But I just can't tell what I'm looking at here. Have we run out of space or not? Yeah, I guess that's right. I guess that's the last piece. So this looks kind of like a cylinder. I think if you look at this instruction, it looks like right here, that piece. But it's obviously not complete. There's something else going to connect to it, going to connect to this end, I think. But this last piece is not on, this last C19. So the two C19s were both difficult to put on at both ends. So the C19s were tough to get on. The 14s and the 26s and the 18s were easier. All right, so I'm going to call that done. And now we have to do the same thing for... No, yes. We have to do the same thing for C, but we also need to stick a C5 on the end. Now, I don't know why they didn't ask us to stick the C5 onto the B version. I feel like we should do both because you see that like hole in there that's like in the middle there. Like there's grippers at each end, which we used one, and then there's a hole. Like you can see, if I line it up perfectly, you can see the yellow through the middle. Because there's a hole that runs all the way through all those discs. So C5 is supposed to go in there, but it's only telling us to do it on the C piece, which we didn't put together yet. This is the B piece. Like, I don't know why they wouldn't tell us to also do it for the C piece. They probably will at some point, but they didn't ask us to yet, so we're not going to do it yet. All right, let's see the answer to the Statue of Liberty. No, while it's probably the best known statue in the world, there is a new Statue of Unity in India that is nearly 600 feet tall, about twice the height of Lady Liberty, which includes the pedestal all the way up to the torch. But her fame is well deserved. The but seems a little out of place. You could have just said her fame is well deserved. Okay, so the Statue of Unity. Statue of Unity in India, they said? All right, let's see what that's all about. So the Statue of Unity in India. Statue of Unity, India. Statue of Unity. So is that the 600 feet, the world's tallest statue? I mean, it's pretty big. It's like 60 stories, right? Statue of Unity. Okay, that is a freaking huge statue. But didn't they say there was a torch? That doesn't look like a torch. Frankly, that's a little disturbing, that statue. That's like a little too, like, I don't know, something about it. Like the Statue of Liberty, I don't know, somehow looks, I don't know what's the word. It's like, I don't know if it's because he's bald. I don't know if it's because the clothes he's wearing. Something is a little too real or something. The Statue of Liberty is like swaddled in blankets, and she's got a book and a torch, and she's got that like weird like crown or whatever. This one's a little too something. Oh my goodness. This is insane. Is this like CGI or is this a real thing? Alright. Let's just do world's tallest statues. World's tallest statues comparison. World's tallest statues chart. Alright, let's see what we get. World's tallest statues. Well, yeah, it's showing that that Unity guy. This is the world's tallest statue. This guy. Is this like someone famous? Who is this guy? Because the next one is Buddha, the Spring Temple Buddha. And then there's the Guanyin of Nanshan, China. Who is that? And then the Statue of Liberty. And then the Motherland Calls. Christ the Redeemer in Brazil. So Christ the Redeemer in Brazil is only 38 meters, but it's on top of like a mountain or whatever, so it's kind of like, if you count the mountain, it's probably the tallest, but I'm 60 meters, like it's 60 meters taller than the Spring Temple Buddha, and it's twice the size of the Statue of Liberty. So I've driven by the Statue of Liberty a lot because I used to take, for like 28 years, I took the Staten Island ferry to Manhattan to go to work. Basically like 10 times a week I drove past the Statue of Liberty on the ferry. And it's pretty big. I mean, it's not like mind-blowing or anything, but it's pretty big. And if you count the base, well, I guess we don't count the base, but at least in this chart they don't. But anyway, it's pretty big, and it's hard to imagine that this statue is twice the height, because at twice the height, it's going to be how much thicker? I mean, I don't even know, 8 times or something like that. It's going to be insane, whatever it is. Let's see. Here's another chart. Oh, that's like a YouTube thumbnail. But it's still, it's something. All right, let's look at the silhouette. Spring Temple Buddha, Motherland Calls, Volgograd, Russia. Let's look at Motherland Calls. Because even though that's not the tallest one, it's got something going for it. Motherland Calls statue. You know, I was just thinking, this just sort of popped into my head. Like, Germany was the fatherland, and so here's the Motherland Calls statue. I think from this angle, it doesn't look that impressive, but I think you have to see it from the drone, like from above. I don't know if they've got that angle here. Yeah, here's somewhat of it. So look at that facial expression. Is this Nat Geo, this image? It's got the logo. So anyway, that's the Motherland Calls. The arm and the sword are both really out there, which is unusual for this type of statue because it needs to have a strong base. You're kind of taking a risk building out horizontally. So anyway, about the motherland, so Europe's like, so Germany's called the fatherland. And so then Russia, obviously they have a statue, Motherland Calls, so you think that they're the motherland. And that seems to mean like father, mother. But does it? Because Russia, you may or may not know. See, I was told when I was a kid, but I was told not about me. No, not when I was a kid. When I was a kid, my parents told me about when they were kids. So when I was a kid, the Cold War was still going on, but my parents said that When they were kids, the Cold War was even more so in place. And they were told, my parents were told when they were kids, that they're supposed to be praying for the conversion of Russia. But no, not the conversion of Russia. The devotion of Russia to Mary. Mary is the mother of God in Christianity. So the fact that they would call that statue the Motherland Calls, and if you're familiar with Russian icons in Russian churches, it's very common for them to show Mary holding like the baby Jesus. So that's like a common image in Russian churches. And now I'm seeing they have a statue that's like Motherland Calls. And now I'm starting to think that those prayers were answered. And like it already happened. Like Russia's already devoted to Mary. I don't know, I shouldn't speak for Russia, but I wonder about that. Is that like, did that happen? I know that I'm saying did it happen, and it's like, well, let's see, what are you believing in? Did what happen? Well, actually, it's a very human thing. Because if you're saying devotion to, there's nothing supernatural about the words devotion to. Anyone can devote themselves to anything. There's people who devote themselves to, watching every episode of some TV show. So you definitely can, people can devote themselves to whatever they want. And then Mary, I mean, no matter what you think of the Christian story and the theology of it, I mean, Mary was, take away all the theology and she was still the mother of a child, So if you say the Motherland Calls and the devotion of Russia to Mary, it may not be much more requirements to meet that than that they pray to Mary, that they have her statues everywhere. So that may have already happened, the devotion of Russia to Mary. Now, what happens after that? I'm not really sure. I feel like I need to ask my parents. So, like, why were you guys praying for that? Like, what was supposed to happen afterwards? Like, what was step 2 of that phase? I'm not really sure. So I got to ask them. Got to find out. So I'm punching out 2 more C19s, 2 more C18s, and I'm going to get 4 C26s. And I'm also going to get a C5. They didn't ask for a C5 on B, but they're asking for one on C. I don't know why one side gets a C5 and the other doesn't. Maybe we're going to get to it eventually. But that's going to be 9 pieces total. So that's going to bring us up to 29. Why are the pieces going down? I'm like hitting the button and the pieces were going down instead of up. All right, so C26 is here. So 4 of those. And then we still need the C5, which is a little like pin looking piece. Whoops. Dropped them all. But just, that's why I've been dropping them on this yellow so I can see them. They disappear into the black. All right. Now, there's a new piece we need. In fact, we need 2 of them. So let me bring us up to 30 pieces. At the bottom, at the top, it's going to go C5, and at the bottom is going to go C6. And they're both kind of like bars. They look like these pieces, frankly. C1, C2, but these don't say what we wanted them to say, which was C5 and C6, but they look like it. They're like a circle with a bar. So C5 and C6. I'm just looking for those pieces. They could be on the other C board. because I don't see them here. No, I do. C5 and C6, they're both right there. All right, so let's get those out. I'm actually looking at the camera. These are impossible to see in real life, but I'm using the close-up camera and looking at the monitor so I can see what I'm doing to get C5 and C6 punched out of this board, because I've got a black tool, a black board, engraved numbering, and a black background. So, and these pieces are tiny. So without this monitor, I have like no chance of getting this thing done. Anyway, there's C5, here's C6. Now let's start stacking them up here. So working from the bottom, we got a C19. That's the first piece. All right, so we need another question while we stack these on. Can tornadoes appear in the same location more than once? Yeah, why not? Why are they even asking this question? Why would a tornado... Is that like a rumor or something? Is that something that needs to be debunked? Like, why would a tornado not... I mean, I understand that people can say, like, the odds are against it, or there's, like, some reason why it's less likely, but why would you say, like, that it couldn't? What even is the recipe for a tornado? Is it like a hot front meets a cold front, and somehow that causes them to, like, swirl together? So I actually think that the same area should be common, because don't they even have a place called Tornado Alley, and that's probably where the hot air and the cold air like often meet each other, and then the eye of the tornado, it moves, right? Like, I've seen videos online of like the tornado moving through an area, and it's like it moves left and it picks up this tractor, and it moves right and it picks up that cow. But then the car is sitting right there and it doesn't touch it. And there's like some guy's got a refrigerator outdoor and it doesn't touch it. And it's like, so I think it's like it absolutely moves, and there are areas that are tornado prone. So I don't see how you can avoid it sometimes going to the same place twice. I mean, someone might say that, like, in the sense that statistically, like, it's already been to that place. But that's actually hogwash when you do statistics. Like, really, it's just as likely to go to the same spot as to a new spot. That's what I think. We're going to read the answer in a minute. That's what I think. But here's the thing. This is one of those statistics that I know the answer, but I still would go with the sort of urban legend, because even if the statistics say like, oh, it doesn't go to the same place twice, if the people who live there say it doesn't go to the same place twice, then it doesn't. Because I could see it going to the same place twice, and in which case people aren't going to build in that place because they know it keeps getting hit by tornadoes. But if people say it never strikes the same place twice, then it means there's probably something random to it. And even if technically you shouldn't say that, it won't go back to the same spot, you can kind of, anecdotally go to that spot, because it's probably not going to go there. Especially if the locals believe in it, I'd stick with that. All right, so now we're going to put on a C5 on top and a C6 on the bottom. So these are kind of new things that we're doing here. All right, so there's the C5. It only goes in like partially. You can see it there, partially. And then the C6 is going to go in the bottom. I think this one goes in like a little further. Maybe it goes all the way till it meets the C5. Let's see. Let's see how far it goes in. I don't want to break it, but I do want to get it in there. Yeah, I'm not sure about this one. How far does it go in there? It's a long, skinny piece, so if I push hard on it, it'll break. I also just don't know. All right, you know what you probably can determine? How it lines up to the bottom. So I pushed it in. Whether or not it made it to where the C5 is, I don't know. There's kind of a picture in the instructions, like all the way on the right there. It says assemble C6 in picture as shown. But I'm not really sure what that's showing. The only thing is I'm wondering, is the circle supposed to go the other way? Like that could possibly be. On the C5, definitely the circle is in line with this opening. On the C6, I'm not sure what it's in line with. Like even on that close-up that they're showing us, like that close-up doesn't make any sense. Because we don't have a piece. Like it's showing this like trapezoid thing, and we don't have a trapezoid. Like I don't know what that's showing. Did I skip a piece that was supposed to be added? I don't think so. C6, assemble as shown. Oh, is it like... Is it possible that we were supposed to stick? Oh no. We fucked up. Okay. We severely fucked up. We were only supposed to add 2 of these pieces. Because what we're really supposed to do is attach the C piece to this piece. And then we're supposed to put the C5 and C6 in the middle. Okay, so you see how we messed up here? But here's the problem. We had all these pieces available to us to use. So, like, why is it not right? Anyway, it's not right. We're supposed to stick this C piece onto this... So here's the B piece. We put all the circles on it. The C piece is supposed to stick in the outside of that. So we have to take all these pieces off. Frankly, it seems like now, I don't know. I don't know why we have all these pieces if we weren't supposed to use them, but we weren't. So now I got to take them off and keep them in order, which I've somehow managed to do. All right, so now what actually was supposed to happen with this C was it was supposed to attach to the B. All right, I'll do that in a second. Just gotta get this off. Why is it stuck? Yeah, I remember it kind of like jammed at the beginning. So it kind of broke a little bit there, but I think it'll be okay. So I have to remove 8 pieces here. So we're going back to 22. Because only the C5 and C6 were actually supposed to be added. The other pieces, we're supposed to combine these two. Like, these pieces on the outside, if you recall, these discs, they had like one side half, the other side half, and then they had like a hole in the middle. So the C goes in one side like half cut, and the B goes in the other side half cut, and then the C5 and C6 go in the top and bottom. So basically I was screwed up. I'm in the process of fixing that screw up, but I screwed up. What can I tell you? Kind of a bust, right? I mean, we're definitely not finishing this tonight. In fact, I'll probably, after I repair this screw up, I'm probably going to stop because I only took one photograph of the instructions so far. And what I'll do is, before we do this again, I'm going to scan the instructions and put them on my blog. So it'll be like available as a PDF, just as if it were a U-Gears puzzle. All right, so now I'm putting this in the other side, and I actually think that it's not going in, or at least it's not going in as much as I'd like it to. So this is the side that the discs are on, and this is the side that I'm pushing in. And as you can see, they're not quite even yet. And I think that's because the 19s at the end, they're tough to get in. The good news is they kind of lock in once you get them in. All right, now it looks a little better. So now I got to put the C5. Oh, I fucked up again. The C5 has to go in before you close the two. All right, that wasn't such a bad screw up. You could lift it, you could pull it apart. The C5 has to go in before you close them. So let's get the C5 in there. If we can. I can't even honestly see what I'm doing. Yeah, I cannot tell if that's going in or not. And the C5 has a circle on it, so it's probably going to be a connector, but maybe not, because it's going to kind of be buried in there. So I'm not sure how important this C5 piece is. The circle might just go onto these these B and C pieces that we already did. I'm not sure. Still trying to get that C5 in there. Okay. I think I got it. Well, I think I got it lined up. Still got to push it in. Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's all that's going to go in. It's actually kind of like a weird piece. Like you can't close this. I don't know what that C5 is really doing. I mean, that's what they want it to do, but I don't really get it. So that C5 is actually not that important. The C6 is probably more important, and let's make sure we get this right. So the C6, they want it to be like if you look at the piece like this, okay, if you look at it like this, you can see the circle. You can see the circle. So if you look at it like this, where you can see the two, like, whatever you want to call those, the two hooks, then you have to hold this piece in the way that you can't see in the circle. And that's the way it's supposed to go in. All right, so as I recall, this is tricky at the very beginning. But once you get through the C19, then it goes easy. All right, so it's in. I don't know how deep you can push it in. So that's basically it. So I need to scan this instructions before the next time we do this. At one point, we thought we were up to 30 pieces. Now we're back down to 22 pieces. All we built in this whole 90 minutes is this, which is this, and this, which, if I'm not mistaken, is this, which means these two pieces are going to clip together like this. Yeah, remember those two pieces? Let me just take a quick look at the instructions. Beyond what I've photographed, because if the next instruction says click those two pieces together, then let's do that before we sign off. All right, so looking at the instructions here, we ended here. So will the next instruction say to clip the two pieces we built together? Yeah, that's exactly what it says. So if you can see here, A clips to this. So, and then we add a bunch of pieces, but I'm not going to do that tonight. So I'm going to clip these two pieces together, and then we'll be done for the night. Just because it's always nice to end a puzzle, especially when you're going to take it off your desk and store it somewhere till the next episode. It's nice to have it in as few pieces as possible, and if we stick this together, we'll be at one piece. So, and then after we put this together, we'll answer that tornadoes question, because I know people are waiting for that answer. All right. Is that fully in? It's hard to really tell. It's so tiny. All right, I'm lifting it off screen. It's not in. I lifted it off screen so I can put it next to my eyes so I can tell. And I'm glad I did that because it's not in. It's like clearly not in. All right, now it's in. Okay. I'm going to put that on the close-up just so I can see it myself. Okay, that's good. So that kind of looks like this piece here. Oh, it's kind of upside down, right? Yeah, like this. All right, so there you go. We built that piece. It's pretty close to scale. The picture on the box here is a little bit smaller than reality, but it's pretty close there. What is that, like 70%? 3/4 scale? Something like that. All right, let's look at the tornado question, and then I'll sign off. All right. So, just to remind the phrasing, can tornadoes appear in the same location more than once? Yes. On the tragic evening of June 3rd, 1980, the town of Grand Island, Nebraska, was hit by 7 different tornadoes within less than 3 hours, so it was a tornado storm. If you want to meet the wizard, reference to the Wizard of Oz, Tornado Alley is the place to be. I think we had a lot of good thoughts on that subject. So, it's very often that I apologize for like crap episodes. And I think this was one of them. I think we're going to have maybe 2 more episodes where we actually finish this excavator, and they're going to be better episodes. Tomorrow, we're going to go back to the Wheel of Fortune, and we're going to pick another thing to do, and hopefully that's going to be better. I won't spin it now because that would make you think that we're going to go to that puzzle. What I'm going to do is you're just going to hear it spinning. So tomorrow we're going to spin the Wheel of Fortune, and we're going to do something else. But then when we're done, because we have 7 Wheel of Fortune items left, so when we're done with all the Wheel of Fortune items, then we're going to go back and finish this excavator. I think it's going to be pretty cool. We'll probably see that in a week or 2. All right. Good night. See you tomorrow.